okay with the practice? Okay. Any doubt? You launch any server, Linux server, and update your installed web server into that Apache while accessing that over internet. You try doing all that? Okay, you please tell me if you have done something. Yes.
Yes, sir, we have not Apache web server.
Only one person has responded. What of the rest?
Yes, sir. We do it.
So you have no doubt, huh? You practice and have no doubt. Can I consider that all of you have practiced and could launch an EC2 instance?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we launched an EC2 instance.
Okay, thank you so much for the response.
Sir, I have one doubt. What is meant by tag instance, sir?
What
What
is
do
meant
you
by
use? Tag instance.
tagging instance?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
What is the use of?
understand this way. Tagging is nothing but, you see, we may have n number of servers for our organization. Alright. From those n number of servers, like maybe 5 servers you currently have for your organization or in your data center, how do you recognize all those 5 servers? What for you have built that server? Whether it is for storage or whether it is for backup or whether it is for your development applications to be installed into that, whether it is for finance data, whether it is used by admin people or used by development people. See, so when you have a number of servers, to identify them for what purpose it is built or for what region it is built, for what project that server is built, to identify, to have an idea, we just provide a name to that. That is what tagging. Tagging is nothing but it's for our convenience. We just provide a name to that so that we will be able to differentiate in between servers. What is the purpose of building that server or launching that server? Are we clear with that? Yesterday when I launched an EC2 instance, I've just given that as my web server. So it's just like that. I've randomly given a name to that, a tag, saying that my motto was to install Apache server onto that and then show you how I'm able to connect a web page over internet. So that I've named it as my web server. So that just like that, it is just for our understanding purpose, we give a name to that and that's tagging. Yes, any other doubts? I'm happy if you ask so many doubts because with that only you'll confirm your things very clearly. Fine, looks like everything is clear to you. At least I'm considering that based on your silence. So now let's go discuss from the next. So I'll go continue with volumes today. So yesterday we have seen how to create a volume and attach a volume to the running instance. Alright, so the same thing we'll see, but after attaching is done from the web console, but when we launch an instance, are we able to recognize that and use that? So that is what we are going to see. We are going to play a little with the volumes. Okay, we will see how to extend. See, for example, we have a server and 10 gigabytes of volume is attached to that. What if we don't, if that 10 gigabytes of volume is not sufficient or it became full? How do we do? We have to extend or we have to go with additional storage. So in that situation, how do we increase the storage Or sometimes, client or user says that the server has space crunch, but we wanted the data to be safe without having any problem to that. And in that situation, you wanted to extend the volume, rather you create another new volume and attach it to that. Right. So in such a way, in that case, what do we do? How do we extend the volume? Can we, in real time, can we extend a hard disk? Maybe whatever the hard disk we just get initially, okay, to our server. Maybe now these days, of course, we are getting a huge hard disk to be attached. So, okay, for this, we will consider this way only. You have purchased a laptop, and then that laptop has a 1 TB of hard disk in that. You have, loaded so much of stuff like all your courses materials and, all your personal data like photos, movies, videos and all. Now that 1 TB has almost become almost full, and you feel all that data, whatever the data you have in your machine is really very important, and then you wanted to extend that. Usually what do? We buy an additional storage like external hard disk and dump all the data whichever is not frequently being used from that, local hard disk. We dump everything into that. But in real time scenarios, it doesn't, we don't do that. What we have to do is they ask us to expand the data, the volume. So that 1 TB volume should be expanded to 2 TB. Is that possible in real-time scenario that 1 TB hard disk we wanted to expand for 2 TB? What we have to do is first we need to bring down your entire system, because it is a physical server, and that physical server needs to be, brought down, which is nothing but you need to temporarily put off the server. Then remove, before that you should take the backup of that entire data. Backup means what? The hard disk has so much of data, and you have an additional copy of that somewhere in some other location, some other remote location. Then, okay, go uh, switch off that server, or put down that server, remove that hard disk. Okay, then attach another hard disk of 2 TB. After once that is done, switch on your computer, then copy or dump all that previous hard disk data which we have backed up into the remote location. From there, you dump it into this current location, so that the backup should be restored back into this 2 TB hard disk which is recently attached to it. Then finally, it meets up to your requirement that you wanted to extend your hard disk with the older data without damaging itself in this. So in this case, we need to put down the server, and that activity takes couple of hours of time, because you need to take out that hardware engineer needs to come, that needs to be taken off, and then 2 TB hard disk to be inserted, and then backup engineers should come. Whatever the backup they have taken into remote location, that should be restored back into this new hard disk. Then once everything is functioning fine, and where this data can be accessed by users, that needs to be checked, everything is working fine, then you consider, okay, the production, the box is ready for the production again. So that is what the challenge we have in real time. In order to reduce all that, okay, in order to reduce that, in order to minimize such a huge time, here in cloud, what we do is, okay, that backup, whatever the backup I said, right? So here in our cloud, we don't separately take any backup, but we take the snapshot. And to take the snapshot, you need not to put down your system or stop your instance. What you can do is you can directly take the snapshot of your volume. But the only thing is, okay, it is suggested to take the snapshots during non-business hours or non-peak hours, because it may affect the throughput of your server's access. It may temporarily bring down for that couple of minutes the amount of time snapshot takes. Okay, snapshot is created. It may bring down the access to that server or that volume. So people may find little difficulty in accessing the data because of huge throughput considered by snapshot. That is the only challenge. So now, okay, we'll see how to play with the volumes. First, we create a volume, attach that to our instance, and see how do we recognize that, In Windows, you just attach it to that, and then it will automatically read and will be ready in my computer. You just go to my computer and then you'll recognize that external pen drive or hard disk will be easily recognized. But in Linux, don't worry, I'll give you all the commands and will explain what for that commands are used. Okay, not to worry. Everything in detail I'll explain. If anything is missed out, anything you do not understand, then please ask me then and there itself. Get all your doubts clarified. Then I'll move on to the next topic. Okay. I wanted you to be interactive in this session so that I'll understand how far you're able to getting it. Now let's go okay, before I create a volume, I just create an instance first. Quickly see how quick am I able to launch. I'll go with Linux AMI. The T2 micro. Then everything is as usual. I'm not going to go with termination protection enabled. I'll just go with the simple thing as it is. Okay, let it be 8 GB, 8 gigabytes. You wanted, you can add that additional storage here only. Okay, and this is what you're tagging name. You should give a name to your server to understand what for it is built. Now today we are just trying to play with volumes. Okay, so what I'll give wall server, I'll say. Just I'm randomly giving some name. There is no particular notation for that. To have a security group, CDG. Okay, we have SSH and HTTP group. That's enough for now. Anything needed, we'll edit later on. Okay, now I have that keyway with me. Yes, you should compulsorily acknowledge that. Fine, we could able to launch a server. So we have a computer with every single software is installed into that. It's nothing but for a basic purpose. You can use that. And you wanted anything, you can just install on top of that and then utilize it for your own purpose. Then meanwhile it gets ready for us. I'll just go create. I'll name this as root volume because it is by defaultly created while we launch an instance and create a new volume. So I'll go with general purpose SSD. Okay, for now what I'll do, I'll go with magnetic. I don't want it to have any throughput. I just wanted to store some data into that. For now, understand. And what I'll do, I'll go with 10 gigabytes only. Okay. And which one? Okay, that instance is created in 2A region, availability zone. So let it be in 2A availability zone. Yes, create. So as I always say, you have to create a volume in the same availability zone where your instance is created. Then only you'll be able to attach it. It's like you have your computer at your home and you are in the office with your pen drive. So how do you able to connect your pen drive to your computer? It's not possible, right? So you should be in the same location where your computer with your pen drive. Then only you'll be able to connect it to that and then access your data. So these volumes are just like that, like pen drives or external hard disks. You always require a computer or a server to access the data in it. Okay, without a server you'll not be able to access anything. That's what elastic block storage, EBS storage. We also have some other type of storage, that is S3, that we will discuss after EC2 is thoroughly discussed. In that we will say what is S3. S3 is another type of storage. Okay, that is object level storage. What is SSD? Where did you see this SSD? Yeah, okay, that is a name
Sir,
given by
general
people.
purpose.
Okay,
Triple.
general purpose SSD. That is just a naming convention given by Amazon. There is no proper meaning for that. You may find something, but that's generally not a name given by people. That's all. Nothing. You need not to worry about that. So,
Okay, sir.
excuse me. So to understand things clearly, EBS is block level storage where we write all the data in terms of blocks into that blocks and files, whereas S3 is an object level storage. I'll discuss these things again when we have a discussion with S3 on S3. Okay, not to worry. So the differences are volumes are block level storage, whereas S3 buckets are object level storage. And volumes must need a server to access the data in it, whereas S3 buckets doesn't need any server. You can access all the data uploaded into that over internet. The S3 storage is just like your Google Drive. You have a Gmail account, then Google Drive will be there. You upload all your files into that, and then you can just go anywhere. If you have a computer, not only computer, you have an internet connection with a web browser, you will be able to access the data. But whereas a volume is just like a pen drive or a hard disk, you must require a computer. But the difference is, the best difference is, here in these volumes, you can, install your OS, treating this volume as a root device. You can, build databases into that. You can keep any kind of configurational stuff into that, along with your personal data, or along with a normal data like files and folders. But whereas S3 storage is a storage where you must need to store only files and folders into that. You cannot create, you cannot configure OS onto that. You cannot install OS onto that. You cannot build databases into that. So that is what S3. It is not meant for configurational stuff to be loaded into that S3. But whereas volume, you can do in any way. It's like, your C drive, your root volume has only 8 gigabytes of space. Your applications installed into that captured entire space. Then you wanted to extend your root volume. So how do you do that? You create another new volume. Consider that as a root volume, installing all the applications into that. Okay, and while you create, you take huge amount of space, more amount of space than 8 gigabytes, maybe based on your requirement. So that fine. So that is the possibility we have with respect to these volumes. Yes, are we clear with that? So now let's play. Please go through all the things I wanted you to very soon, like maybe if it is possible in tomorrow's class, I'll try to give some lab documents so that you can perform all the lab activities. I'm actually preparing them. Once I'm done with that, I'll share those lab documents with you so that you can just have a hands-on practice. But meanwhile, till then, please go through these videos and practice things. And my request is, please practice things day by day itself. Do not postpone anything for the next day. Okay, now the instance is ready and volume is also ready. So I'm copying the public IP to launch this instance. Okay. Now meanwhile, I'll also attach the volume. It's an EBS volume, so I'm just going to tag it as EBS volume. Okay, this is I'm going to choose this. It has root volume. That's all. It's for my understanding purpose. It's not compulsory that you have to give a name, and it should not be a particular notation. Based on your office environment, how your office guys name them. Based on those notations, you can just give a name. So to attach this, I'm selecting that volume. Go to actions, and attach volume. Okay, the volume name is taken here, volume ID and all. And instance, which instance you wanted to attach this? Currently we have only one running instance, so it's listing only one, that. So select it. And as I said, if you wanted to consider this volume as a root volume, then change this name device /dev/sdf. Instead of that, you take sda, then it will be considered as a root device, but we are as a root volume. But now I'm just keeping it as it is. And here we have SDF, but on the server we may find it in terms of XVDF, so not to get confused with that. This is another point to be remembered. Yes, attach. Fine. Once after it is attached, it will be in use. Earlier it was in available state, now it is in use state. So now let's go launch our instance. So go to putty, pasting it here. Okay, then go to SSH that we need to provide or attach our key pair, right? Can you able to log in without key pair? Did you try? Yes? Did anyone try logging or connecting to a server without attaching key pair to that?
No, we can't.
Yes, that's true. So the key pair acts like a private key to authenticate yourself to connect to your server. Fine, I'm now logged into our instance, that is as a normal user now I'm currently, so I'll go turn myself into a user
Yeah,
to execute all the commands without adding sudo before every command I execute. So I don't want it
I
to.
have
Yeah.
I have a doubt.
Yes.
Like today when I'm trying to going to Linux, like when it gave the key pair, I'm not getting a login as, I mean, I'm getting this page as blank and I'm not able to type anything also.
Did you check your status checks here? The instance status checks. So what you have to do when
Yeah, it's a 2 by 2.
yeah, if it is 2 by 2 status checks, then that's fine. You should be able to log in. Maybe something is missing while attaching key pair or the public. What have you taken? You took public IP or public DNS name.
Yeah, public IP. Yeah,
Then fine.
public IP. I took public IP.
Anything with these two, either by taking public IP or by using public DNS link. Anything it is fine. You can use both of them and then can launch. So what do you do? There is
L-
there
Like
is no
I have a doubt. Mine is a Windows laptop and I put a
PPK format only you should take. Did you?
mine is a Windows laptop. I put a yeah, I took PPK format only.
That's fine.
But I put a Oracle VirtualBox and Linux. Should we power off the shutdown the Linux, or no, we should keep it as it is?
After once you connect on to that or before?
Like normally after installing Linux in the system, should we normally I shut down the Linux, so we should shut down or we should keep it like that only?
You can keep it like that. You can keep it like that. And how did you install? You have selected an AMI or after once you logged into that you installed it manually without AMI. What AMI you have taken?
I selected
AMI.
AMI.
You do get
Amazon
AMI.
Linux.
Amazon Linux AMI only you have taken, right? So by default you
Yeah.
have installed everything. You don't need to do manually. So there is nothing wrong that you should get it connected. Um,
Okay.
Try it again. Try it again. You should get. If not, what you do is you please
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
share your screens with me. Okay. Uh,
Okay.
or
Yeah.
if you have any doubt, after our session, after once we are done with our session,
Okay.
you please stay back. So I'll show you by
Okay.
taking your screen. Okay.
Okay.
You can share your screen with
Okay.
me and then try launching as an instance. Then I'll tell you what's missing in that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
And this is Sai, right? Sai is speaking to me now.
Yeah, Sai. Yeah, this
Yeah,
is Sai.
fine, fine, Sai, not an issue. So
Yeah. Thank you.
able to log in now. As I said, to execute a command, being a normal user, I have to type sudo every time I execute a command. So instead of doing that, I myself turning into a root user by this command sudo su. So I'm a root user now, and I'll go update all the packages. What is that to update? Update space hyphen y. Saying yes to update without asking me again in between. Fine, it's updated. I'll go clear the screen. Okay, it is done to update all the package. Yum update hyphen y. We have executed that command to update all the packages because the AMI we have taken Linux AMI, Amazon Linux AMI may have all the updated packages or may not, because that is the snapshot taken somewhere sometime back. Okay, after once an EC2 instance is created. So that AMI may not have all the updated packages. For that reason, we initially update things, then go ahead and do our work. Now, I'll execute this little command ls blk only to check. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So ls blk is nothing but list blocks. What and all the blocks attached to my server. All those things should be listed. So to check what volumes are attached to my server. So this little command is executed. The moment I say enter, I press enter. I have two volumes attached. One is XVDA, that's the root volume of 8 gigabytes of space. Okay, where is it mounted? The mount point is on root directory. Okay, in Linux, okay, in Linux server, whenever we wanted to use a volume attached to it, we first have to create a file system onto that, because any volume which is attached to it is a raw volume which doesn't have anything onto it. And to write something or to read from that volume something whatever we upload, we always have to have a proper file system onto that. Then only Linux machines will understand the volume and write the data with a proper format. So that is why the file system should be created into that. After once file system is created, okay, that should be mounted on some directory. It's nothing but in a Windows machine, it should be mounted on some folder. Okay, then only you'll be able to use. And how do you write something? By going into that directory. Okay, I'll just repeat that, not to mention. So lsblk is a command used for listing all the blocks attached. So to check how many blocks or how many volumes attached to my server, list block lsblk. So we have two blocks or two volumes attached, xvda, which is a root volume of 8 gigabytes of space, And where is it mounted? It is mounted on a root directory. You find that slash, which means it is a root directory. Okay. And we also have another volume attached to our server that is of XVDF of 10 gigabytes of space, but it is not mounted anywhere. The mount point is nothing. So when nothing, it's nothing, but it is not mounted anywhere. So whenever, like when it is not mounted anywhere, we'll not be able to use that, which is nothing but it will not recognize. So let's see, how do we check what and all the volumes are recognized by our server? For that, we use another command, df hyphen h. This is the small command used to check what volumes are attached to our servers that are recognized by our server and their space. So this is what you see. When I just type df-h, we have only one volume listed here. Okay, we don't have xvdf because there is no file system created on that. Okay, to write data onto that, so that our server can understand, our Linux server, not only our any Linux server, when you attach a volume, initially that will be a raw volume, so you should create a file system, then mount it onto some directory. Okay, that directory we should create. Directory is nothing but in our Windows language, it is a folder. So you should create. It's another way to give another real-time experience. Okay, excuse me. If you are a developer, imagine you are a developer or something else. You are provided with a job, and after once you enter into your organization, you are provided with a computer to access and perform all your tasks. Whatever the task is assigned to you to perform, that they have given a computer, and that computer is utilized by you individually when you are there in the shift. Okay, what about the rest of the colleagues? Because you are not only the one guy who are working on that particular project in an organization. There will be, a team. There will be a team which works for same project or multiple projects together. In that situation, they are provided. Okay, they will provide you a machine to work, but to have an access to all of your team to that particular project, you know they will give a share, they'll keep that project data in some other server, some other centralized server. Okay, in that centralized server they create a particular share, which is nothing but the centralized server has 1 TB of data. In that 1 TB of data, 100 gigabytes of space is separately created in terms of a drive, maybe C drive or E drive or D drive, something like that. They give a name to that drive. To that drive, a share is provided to you people. Okay, so what do you do? The moment you log in to your computer, you go connect to that share and access all your project data and work on that. End of the day, once you're ending your shift, you save everything, what and all the changes you are done in that central share, so that other people can access that and check from where you're left. So that's how it works out in real-time scenario. And here, okay, even in this case, even in Linux, okay, understand this way. Whenever you create a new volume that needs to be mounted onto a directory, then we just go into that volume, that directory, do all our work, save our data into that, and fine, we are done. We save and then come out. When we save in that directory, it will be automatically saved into that volume because the directory is mounted by that volume. Without mounting onto a particular directory, we cannot use that directly. So that is why I'm going to do something else now. So how do I do? First I need to check. Okay, now the thing is, we have a volume attached that is listed here by using lsblk command, but that's not being recognized by this command. So when you wanted to use, that should be recognized by this command df-h. In order to make that new volume of 10 gigabytes to recognize by our server, what I'm going to do, first I'm going to check whether there is any file system created in that or not. Okay, sometimes, when you take or when you create a volume from an existing snapshot, okay, now of course we have directly created a new volume. Okay, but sometimes we take the backup of this or snapshot of this. I'll explain during the snapshots in the next play in today's class only very clearly what is that. So when you create a volume, rather creating newly a raw volume, if you create it by taking a snapshot or from a snapshot, that volume will already have all the data whatever your snapshot is having. Okay, in that situation, if you go directly start creating file system, it will erase all the data in that, the previous data whatever that snapshot is having in it. It will totally erase, nothing but it will format. Once you try to create a file system, it will format and create new file system onto that. So we should be very careful. That's why I'm going to check. Of course, here in this case, we'll not have any file system because this is the raw volume created by us, but still we are going to check. So what is that command we are going to use here in this case to check whether the file system is created or not? The command is file. Okay. Um, it has gone network issue, so I'll just restart this session. So I'll just say file. This is the command used to check whether there is any file system created on your volume or not. So file -s space -s and the volume name /dev/xvdf. That is what a volume.
XVDF.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Somebody is very active. Happy with us. So when you find the output as data, simply data, understand there is no file system created onto that. Okay. Now we have to create a file system onto that. How do we create? We have checked using that command file -s. Now to create, use this command. We are going to create, it's nothing but making a new file system. mk make file system fs. mkfs hyphen space hyphen t, the type of file system. Okay, what type of file system I'm going to create? ext3. I'm going to create ext3 file system. Usually in real time they use this command in another different way, that is mkfs /t, something like that, but this is my practice. Not to worry, in any format you can utilize that. And file systems, they create from ext4, but it's not an issue. It's up to you whether you wanted to create ext3 file system or ext4 file system. It totally depends on you. You can create anything, but ext1 and 2 will not be, because that's already reserved by your root volume attached to that. So ext3 file system I'm creating.
Is
Then
there any
wait,
difference between EX33 and EX34?
maybe the versions, that's all. Versions, different versions.
Okay.
So
Okay.
of course I'm creating a file system. That's by make file system, and type of file system is ext3. ext3, I'm sorry, ex3 I have mentioned. ext3. And where are we going to create this file system? Which location we are going to create, or which volume we are going to create? That's /dev xvdf. This is the command to create file system. So here when you press enter, it will go create the file system on this volume. Okay, so it's creating blocks and all. That's why you see it's block level storage. EBS is always block level storage. So now it is creating blocks. With respect to that, it will understand. Fine, done, we are done. And when it comes, when you're executed a command and it come back to a normal position, like when it ends up with any output, without any output, then consider you have executed your command successfully. So no news is a good news in Linux or Unix. When there is a news, then you have to check there is some error. So fine, now let's go check the file system using the previous command. It will give another output. Earlier it has come just data, but now you see, since we have created a file system that has listed here. So what is that file system? It is Linux revision 1.0, okay, 1.0 and ext3 file system data. And user ID and all that, you need not to worry. So this is what the type of file system is also mentioned here. Now happy we have also created. Are we done with this? Can we able to recognize our this particular volume by this command df-h? Are we?
No, we should mount.
Are we able to or will not be? Shall I type df-h? See, is there any 10 gigabytes of volume recognized? No, right? We have created a file system, but still we are not able to recognize it. Do you remember I said something else after once we create file system, we have to do it something more.
We should mount the file.
We should mount the file. So to mount our file, we always have to mount our file, our volume where on a directory. So first we create a directory. We don't have any directories here, so we create a directory. Okay. So to create a directory, I'm going to clear the screen. Clear. So it's not enough that you create a file system, but after once file system is created, you have to create a directory and mount your volume to that directory. Then it is recognized by df-h command. So to create the directory, I use a simple command, make directory, mkdir. This is the command used. Okay, make directory. I'm going to create a directory. The directory name is up to you, but I'm going to take this name because it's a new volume. So volume directory, I'll take this way. It's my practice that I've taken. If you have any name or new file system, or if this volume is used for special purpose, like your new project, the project has some name, project X, and for that project it is going, this volume is going to be utilized, then you just say slash project X. So something that you can just give any name for your understanding purpose, but you have to create a directory, and over this directory it should be mounted. So yes, we have created a directory. As I said, no news is a good news. It is created a directory. After once it is done, you have to go and mount. How do we mount? For that mounting, we say mount command only, M-O-U-N-T, mount. What are you going to mount? Your new volume. What is that? Slash dev slash xvdf. Where are you going to mount? You're going to mount on your new directory, the new directory which is created, slash volume. I'm just pressing tab so that it by itself it will take. I press the tab. So go yes, mounting your new volume onto your new directory. Say yes. Okay. Now let's go check df-h. Fine. You're able to see now. XVDF, which is of course 9.8 gigabytes. It's 10 gigabytes considered. Then used, how much is used? 23 MB, 23 MB space is used. Then free space is totally 9.2 gigabytes of space free. Where is it mounted? It's mounted on root volume. Okay, I mean volume. That directory it is mounted. Are you clear? Attaching a volume and see how do we recognize, how do we make it recognized by our Linux server. Now let's go write some data onto that. To write some data, I'm going to enter into the directory, we have to use another command, cd change directory. What is the directory? Volume. Press the tab, enter. Now see, from EC2 user you have become volume. So it's nothing but you are currently in that location, in that directory. And check, do we have any files here? ls list. Yes, we have a file. By default, whenever you create a file system, that will create last plus found directory. If it is in blue color, understand that's a directory inside a particular volume. So this is a directory. Why, what for this is used? If you write some data, you create some files and folders. Fortunately or unfortunately, if you delete that or something happened, if it is corrupted, if a file is corrupted and deleted, that will be found in this last plus found directory. It is just like recycle bin in your Windows server. Are we clear with that? The last plus found directory acts like a recycle bin. So now let's go create some files. How do we create files? We can create files in multiple ways using VI editor that we have seen yesterday to create some web pages. Okay, and what else? We can use cat command, cat. We can use touch command. Okay, using cat command you only write data and save, but you'll not be able to edit. Using touch command, touch, using touch command, you can create a number of files at a time, but all will be empty. They all will be empty files. You cannot write any data into that. And using VI editor, you can also edit that existing files. Okay, or you can create a new file. Anything is possible. So for now, we'll create a file first using, okay, what do we say, using cat command only. Cat. So using cat command, I'm going to create that cat. Okay, that's angle greater than, then file name. Are you, am I audible to you all? Hello?
Yeah, but sometimes your voice is breaking, sir.
What about now? You able to listen to me now? Is that
Yeah,
fine?
no, it's okay.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. So what I'm doing is I'm trying
yeah,
to
it's okay.
create some files, some data into our new volume. Okay. So that new volume, we are going to play something like we'll write some data into our new volume. Okay. Consider that this volume is full. We'll try to extend it. All right. So let's see. Now I'm writing some file. So file one. Write hi, good morning, whatever it is. Just write some stuff. Okay, and to save, okay, cat greater than name of the file, enter. You have written what and all you have to write, and to save, press Ctrl D. When you press Ctrl D, it will save and come out. It will save and come out. Now you see ls, you have last place found directory and you also have file. To check what is there in that, what information or what data is there in that file one, what do? You can use same old command cat, but this time without greater than symbol. Just cat and file name. That's file one. You see you have this data. Not only this, you can also use another command, that's more file name. Both will give same output, but the difference is if your file has n number of pages, okay, like 4 to 5 pages, when you use this cat command to check the data, it will just check all the data available in that randomly very faster, and will keep the cursor in the last page, that is maybe fifth page. So you will not be able to read what is in first 4 pages. It will directly take you to, yeah, whatever the data. It is now your local machine. It's like, you know, your server, your computer, what you wanted to keep in your computer. You can just think you keep anything, your personal data or your, you know, whatever it is. It is just like your computer now, given to you. Do whatever you want, however the way you wanted, or whatever the data you wanted to save, it's up to you. But so using cat command, you know, it will take you to the last page directly, so that you'll not be able to see what's in there in the first front remaining pages. If you wanted to check page by page, when your file is having multiple pages and you wanted to check page by page, then you use more command. This is flexible. More command will take you page by page. It will not go to the end directly. Fine, we have that file, and using touch command I'll go create some empty files, only to say that we have some data in our machine. So douch, okay, I'll just say A, B, C. These are the 3 files I'm creating at the time. So created empty files, it has not given any chance for us to, you know, write some data. As I said, touch command is used for creating what type of files it creates? Anybody?
Empty files.
Yes, it will create empty
Empty
files.
files.
Touch command is used to create multiple empty files, n number of empty files at a time. Now you see, when I list all the files, all the data available, it is saying ABC file 1 last place found directory. So this is what. Now, okay, we have a volume created and attached to that and made to recognize. Also have written some data into that. Okay, and now think that this volume is not being enough for us, so we wanted to extend and wanted to make sure our this data is available in that. So how do we do? So go to console to have our data safe. Okay, first you need to take the snapshot of this. So what do you mean by snapshot? I'll explain if time permits today. If not, we will just play and see how our data will be with an extended volume. So to take the snapshot, for now you understand snapshot is nothing but a backup of a point in time backup. Snapshot, we named it like that because it captures a copy of all the data available in that, okay, in the volume, just like a photograph. And from there, from that captured snap, it will write somewhere wherever you want it. So we are going to take this snap now. Since it is going to capture the data whatever is there in your volume, it will make stable, okay, it will deny all the access to that for the other people. So that is the challenge. Now select that volume, whichever the volume's snapshot you wanted to create. Okay, go to actions and say create snapshot. That's all. It's very simple, and give a name to that snapshot. So the volume is this EBS volume, and name of the snapshot is, okay, just name that snap 10 gigabytes. This is 10 GB volumes snapshot, right? So I'm saying snap 10 or snap 10 GB, you write. Then here I'm giving the same name, snap. I'll give this way. So yeah, encrypted, no, because the volume is not encrypted, so the snapshot will not be encrypted. Yes, snapshot creation started. For the first time when you are trying to create a snapshot, it probably takes some 5 to 10 minutes of time. It will take some time. By then, it go create a snapshot for us. We will discuss what do you mean by snapshots. So as I said, snapshots are nothing but the point in time backup of your data or your volume. So point in time backup is nothing but at that moment, the moment when you are trying to initiate a snapshot or trying to take the snapshot, whatever the data is written at that time will be captured, so that we say it's a point in time backup of your volume or data. And snapshots are incremental. What do you mean by incremental? You see, you have taken a snapshot of this 10 gigabytes of volume on day 1 because there is some data, and that data to be properly saved, or you wanted an additional copy of that if something goes wrong and this volume gets corrupted, so that you can just get back the data from the snapshot, or that is the backup. The concept of backup is that. And now day 2 you have come, edited that, changed something into that, or you added some more files or data into that, and while you leave you have taken another snapshot of day 2, okay. And day 3 the same thing, you have taken a snapshot after your work is done. Day 4 also you have done something. But you see, day 1 it is a new volume, so you have created everything, okay, freshly. So it will take so much of time to create because it's taking entire. Now you see, I think it has brought down our server, not an issue, because the snapshot is working. Temporarily it will bring down for a couple of minutes or something like that. We need to up it again. So incremental. Now first day when it is taking, it needs to take the backup of all the files available, so it takes a time. And second day 2, when you're working, what do? You, instead of working on some new files, maybe 1 or 2 files you added, but you have changed existing files a bit. So day 2, when you're trying to take the snapshot, it will only capture the newly created files and the existing files, whichever you have edited. Only the new data. It's nothing but the changes from the last successful backup or last successful snapshot. Only those changes are backed up or snapped. The new things only snapshot are created as a snapshot. The older ones are not considered to be a snapshot. And day 3, whatever you have changed from day 2 to day 3, only that will be there in day 3's snapshot. So that's why we say incremental. Incremental is nothing but it will not capture the full files as it is, but it will take the snapshot of, it will take the backup of only the edited or changed ones. If you do not change any file, it will not take the backup of that. You clear? So that's what the snapshots are nothing but. And these snapshots are useful for various purposes. How? Now you see the first one. Okay, our snapshot is ready. So what do we do? While we discussed about the uses of snapshots, we go create a new volume from these snapshots. What is the purpose of creating a snapshot? I mean, in this case, we wanted to extend our 10 gigabytes of volume from 10 to some more space, considering that this volume space is totally became full. So with that, I wanted to extend this, and I should have this data available in that. Okay, in order to do that, what I'm doing, I have taken a snapshot of that. Now after once the snapshot is taken, okay, you have to go create a new volume to have the data whatever this 10 gigabytes of volume is having. So in order to have that same data from the snapshot, you should create a volume. Rather, you go to volumes and create a new volume. If you create a volume in from volumes, then that will be a new volume. That will not. Of course, you can just give a snapshot ID, but do you remember, do you know what is a snapshot ID? No, not possible. I mean, we did not make a note of it anywhere. So what I'm doing, I'm going to snapshots. From the existing snapshot, I'm going to create a new volume. So selected that and going to actions. In that, I'm going to create a volume. Excuse me. So now you see the snapshot ID is already taken, by defaultly taken. Then here you see you can change. Earlier our 10 gigabytes of volume is a magnetic volume we have taken, but now here you can change the type of volume also. So general purpose SSD volume I'm taking. Now from 10 gigabytes, its original size is how much? 10 gigabytes means, for example, let's try to see, give 9 gigabytes. It gives the minimum 10 gigabytes, maximum so much. Volume size must be at least the size of the snapshot. So the snapshot is of 10 gigabytes of volume. So you should minimum take 10 gigabytes. It's nothing but you can extend, but you cannot concrete. You cannot shrink. So I'll go have 15 gigabytes of space now. Okay. So 15 gigabytes. Now for 15 gigabytes, okay, which location we are creating? In the same location. The snapshot is not encrypted because the volume is not encrypted, and the new volume we are creating from the snap is also not encrypted. Yes, creating. So the volume is created. You see how quick the volume is created. Now go and let's name this as 15 gigabytes volume. I'm just naming something randomly, and you see we have created the IOPS. It is having IOPS because it is general purpose SSD volume. Earlier one, it is not a general purpose, it is a magnetic volume, so it is a standard one, no IOPS, and that's not created from any snapshot. So it was a raw volume. Now this is a new volume with the from the snapshot it is created, and this needs to be attached. How do we attach? So since I wanted to attach this, first I'll go detach the existing one. You need not to do that, but when you wanted to, make use of this by the people, since already we have the entire data copied into that, because we have created this volume from the snapshot existing. So give me a second. Sorry for the little break. Okay. So I'm going to detach this. How do I detach? Go to your server. The session is inactive, so I'm going to restart it again. sorry, wrong name I believe. Yes. Okay. So df-h, the df-h will give us the volumes attached, and now let's go check what data is available in the volume. cd slash vol, oh not that, okay, list. So we have all this data, they'll come out of that, to come out of that volume, okay, cd, then enter, it will come out just like that. Okay, then unmount it. So first, while you detach, it always should be unmounted from the directory. To unmount from this directory, what do you do? You say you come and type this command umount, M-O-U-N-T. To unmount your volume, we say umount, and what you're going to unmount, just like that, you just type unmount. Okay, you are giving list of the options. So the format is what? Unmount. Okay, options, these are the HV and A are the options. You take the option, source, whichever you wanted to unmount, from where you wanted to unmount. So that's how you have to give. And if you wanted to forcibly unmount, you just take hyphen small f. So you mount, anything you do not know, you just type just like that, and it will give you the options of that command, how to use that, and its syntax and all. So unmount, what you're going to unmount, slash dev slash xvdf, from where, slash volume. Still giving me some news. The volume target is busy, it seems, so I just wanted to do it forcibly. So that's what. There is some news, so there is some problem. Hyphen F. It's still not allowing me to do something. Okay, let's see. What I'll do, I'll just go attach this to our instance. I'm doing it because I just wanted to show you something. So SDF was taken for the previous volume, now it is SDG. Attach. Fine, it's attached. But is that recognized by dff-h command? Are we able to? Let's see. No, it's not recognized. But go with lsblk command. It will be seen here, xvdg of 15 gigabytes space, because we have to mount, but before mounting it, we'll just check whether there is any file system created in this or not. So tell me, do we have any file system in this 15 gigabytes of volume? Yes or no? For that 10 gigabytes of volume, we didn't have any data
No,
file system created. And what about this? Will it have any file system created onto it, or do we have to do it?
we have a snapshot.
Yes, yes, valid point.
We have a snapshot in that one.
Yeah, the snapshots data will be available since this
So we,
15
if we,
gigabytes of, yeah, since this
so
volume,
if we just mounted it, then it will show that.
can you?
No, nothing. I don't.
You want me to show something?
No, nothing.
Okay, so we will be having data into it, because this volume is created from the snapshot. So all that data will be available in that, and the data will be available with respect to the file system created. Let's check. -s. So this is what we generally does in real time when somebody come and say, okay, my server space is not being enough, it's becoming full, so we just go and extend it this way. This is all we perform in our real time, so understand this, or else I would skip. Okay, this is how we will create a volume and attach and then go back to the snapshot, go to the snapshot, and then so I'm showing it all the way because you will do this in real time. So file -s, what is that? /dev/xvdg, that's what is right. See, there is a file system created onto it already. You don't need to do, because this volume is created from a snapshot. But what we have to do, we need to mount it to some point. Okay, so to mount, it was showing, let's try again another time unmounting that 10 gigabytes of volume. So unmount, you mount, okay, /dev/ oh, it's not coming, /xvdf. In some cases useful in the world that the device is found by large or users. Target is busy. Okay, let's try this way. Mounting the same, which is not possible, but mount /dev/xvdf onto what volume only. The same directory I'm just going to mount this new volume also. It should not take, yes, it should not take. The volume is already busy with that xvdf, so it's already mounted on that volume, so it cannot. Now what do I do temporarily? I'll just go create another new volume and then show you new directory and then show you how the data is, whatever I wanted to show you. So mkdir, and what name we'll give, we'll just give as new volume. Okay, this is what the directory I'm creating, and on that directory we'll give it, instead of volume we'll just give new volume. Now let's go df-h. Getting it or bouncing it? I think I'm making you to feel little bored, but please try to understand why I'm doing all this. If you're not getting it, you please ask me anything. I'll just repeat from anywhere you wanted. Guys, are you there?
Yeah, we are there.
Yeah. Now, oh, yeah, yeah. So, I think I did something wrong. Can you just tell me what I've done? Yes? Can you just tell me the difference from this and this? From that and this? What mistake I did? instead of mounting XVDG, the new volume to, okay, our new volume directory, I have mounted the existing volume, the older one, 10 gigabytes of volume to the new volume directory. So that is the mistake I did, but not an issue. The new volume I have attached to the volume directory. Okay, now let's go and check what data is available in both these directories, new vol and volume. First, go to vol ls. We have all the data. This is actually our new volume because you see XVDG. Okay, and let's go to the other one. Okay, you see we have the same data available in that. But there is something I wanted you to notice. We have data fine. Okay, we could succeed that we could create a new volume from the existing, I mean, like from the, by having all the data available and could attach it, and finally, of course, we could succeeded in checking the data. It's available. Yes, fine. But I wanted you to notice something. Did you notice anything? The XVDG here, it is mounted on root, I mean like volume directory, of course, but what about the space here? What is its space mentioned?
9.8 GB.
9.8 GB, which is nothing but 10 gigabytes of
Actually,
space. But what is that volume created? What is the space of that volume we have taken while we create?
15 GB.
15 GB. So we are missing some data in that, right? I mean like some space here, right? Why is it showing only 10 gigabytes of space? Why is it not showing 15 gigabytes of space? It's because, okay, it's because we have created this volume from a snapshot of 10 gigabytes. So it is reading only that snapshot. It's just reading that snapshot only. It's not recognizing its capacity, the volume's capacity. So what we have to do here, we need to make this server to recognize that new volume's space. How do we do that? For that we need to execute another command. What is that? I'm going to do this, you see. That, but I'll just come out of that one. You can do that by being in that volume. It's not an issue. But I've just come out and I'll create this thing here. This one, which it's just it will just show only 10 gigabytes of space. Okay, but now I wanted to resize it. Resize. This is the command we use to recognize its original space because it's reading only that snapshot. So use this command resize. Okay, resize to file system. Resize to file system. This is the command we. Okay, resize alpha, number 2, numerical number 2. FS stands for file system. What are we trying to resize? Which volume we are trying to resize? Slash dev slash xvdg. Yes, it's resized. It has checked all its blocks available. Now let's go type command df-h. What is the space here? Yes, earlier it is having 9.8 gigabytes of space, and now it is showing 15 gigabytes of space. Now it is showing the actual size of this particular volume we have created. Alright, let's go check the data whether it is available in that or not. cd slash volume. Yes, all these data will be available. Okay. Yes. So are you clear with that? What we have done today, we have taken, okay,
Yes.
a volume attached to our server, made that recognized by creating a file system onto that, and then mounted onto a particular directory by creating a directory, and have written some data into that volume's snapshot we have created, and from that snapshot we have created another new volume to have the same data available, but having little more space into it. Then attach that two to the same machine and then check. Okay. And another a little player, if you just bear with me another 2 minutes only. Okay, I'll just show you what to do. I said the snapshot uses, it's not only used for creating a new volume, but you can also, uh, use this snapshot. You copy it to some other location. Select that snapshot, go to actions and say copy. The moment you say copy, it will allow you to change your region. From Sydney region, you can just go to the other region also, and then copy this snapshot. Once you copy this snapshot, you are able to create new volume from this, so in the other region you can just have this data available. So that is what the use of snapshot. All right, are we clear with that? I'm not doing it for now.
Yes.
Yes. So if this is fine, if everything is understood by everybody, we will stop for today. I think we played enough with snapshots and volumes. In the next class, in tomorrow's class, we will see how to create AMIs. What is AMI and how do we create AMI? We will see all that. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Sai, you said you have some doubt. Who and all have doubts, you can stay back. The rest can leave. Not an issue, because we are going to just discuss some doubts if you have any.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'll delete everything, whatever I have done today. Hello? Somebody speaking something?
Yeah. No, no, no.
Guys, I'm sorry I'm sharing these videos little late because of some network. Today also we have the same issue that there is no network. I'm just conducting all these sessions with the mobile data, but not an issue. I'll try to upload the videos as soon as possible. I'll stop this recording.